Hey, what's going on, fellas? How you doing? Welcome. Joe McCall here, and this is my open office hours. Welcome to my office, my studio, same thing. And on this call, what I like to do is look at deals. So this is going out to all of my YouTube channels. I have one YouTube channel. I have 3 or 4 different Facebook groups, Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn. So, hey, world, what's going on? Technology today is amazing. I can do a camera. I can even have 2 cameras and talk to you live like this. And I can see what's going on. I can chat and look at deals. So I have been doing deals virtually for a very, very long time. House deals and land deals now. Excuse me. I've been doing, I taught a class this morning and a coaching call. I'm losing my voice. But when I got started in this business, I thought you had to go look at the house, and I did. That's what I did for a long, long time. I'd go look at the house and talk to the sellers, tried to build some rapport, pretend I was interested in the house, pretend I was interested in all the things they had on their wall, pretend I was interested in fishing or whatever their thing was, And that got kind of old real quick because I'd waste all of this time talking to the sellers, looking at the house, pretending that I knew what I was doing, only to find out we were worlds apart, miles apart in my offers. All right. So, sorry, I have to move on my desk over so I'm centered. And I just thought, enough of this. Even if the deal is in St. Louis where I live, I am not going to go to another house ever again. The first deal I wholesaled, it was in a town called Warrenton, which is about an hour to the west of downtown St. Louis, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. And that was my first deal I wholesaled. And that was in 2007 or 2008 for regular traditional wholesaling where I flipped it and sold it for cash. And guess what? I didn't ever even go see the house until about 6-8 months ago. And I did a video on it. Crazy. So this business you can do from anywhere literally in the world. And so when I do these little classes and boot camps and things like that, I like to kind of, I don't want to say show off, but I'd like to show you how to do deals virtually. That's my whole goal in all of that. So got something cool that you should check out. If you go here right now, simplelandcontract.com, you can get the land contract that I use for my land deals for free. Here's one of them right here. This is a deal I did with by myself while I was on vacation in Vail, Colorado. And this was a property in Suwannee County, Florida, 1.39 acres. We made a $12,450 profit on that. Actually, we're still making it because we sold it with owner financing and we're getting $250 a month for 5 years. On this deal that I did while on vacation in Florida, and this deal I did with my son, and it's a property in North Carolina, made $11,224 profit on that. So you get these contracts for free if you want. Right now, just go to simplelandcontract.com, simplelandcontract.com. Cool? All right, so I have some students that submitted some deals, and I'm going to do my best to look at them here and do my best to, protect the innocent and try to keep the names and things private, but do the best I can. We'll see. By the way, who is here? Type in the chat right now that you are here. If you are here, say hi in the chat. I want to make sure you guys can hear me and see me. Make sure we're looking good. I know I'm looking good. I just want to make sure you're looking good. So say hi right now in the Facebooks, in the Twitters. There we go. Thank you, Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but another one said hi. Another one said here. Good. You guys can hear me and see me. And I'm going to go look right now to make sure I'm in YouTube. Are you on YouTube? Say hi. Because I was having problems the other day streaming this to YouTube. Ah, boom. There I am. There's 7 of you watching right now. All right. Let's dive into this. Somebody submitted a deal. We're going to look at it. And this first deal is submitted by a guy named Paul. Let me shrink this a little bit so I can see it better. And then I'm going to share my screen, and we'll probably open, these are the sites that I like to go to when I'm looking at deals. And it's either Zillow or Redfin. So let me share my screen. There's Redfin and there's Zillow. These are pretty much the two websites you need when you're looking at land deals and house deals, really. So let's look into this. This is a deal Paul wanted my opinion on. It's in Woodland Park, Colorado. I believe that's a county. Is that right? Woodland Park County. Oh, another site that you need is Maps, Google Maps. So let me move this over here so I can see it again. Woodland Park, Colorado. Is that a county? I don't know. Hold on here. Woodland Park, Colorado. It's not a county. Maybe it is. Let's zoom out to see where it is. Ah, cool. All right, so Woodland Park, Colorado County. What is the county? Teller County. All right, by the way, Paul and everybody else who submits your deals, if you're a student and you submit deals, when the field says county, comma, state, don't give me the city, please. Give me the county. I got to know the county. Don't make me try too hard and work for it. I get a little anal about these things because if I'm going to spend my time analyzing your deals, when it asks for county and state, give me the county. Please. It makes it easier. Okay, the property is in zip code 80863. And I have the GPS coordinates right here for the property. Okay, let's zoom out. Oh, you're not seeing my screen. It would help if I showed you. So I just did a Google search for Woodland Park, Colorado County. Found out it's in Teller County. Cool. And Teller County is really cool county, west of Colorado Springs. And if you don't know where Colorado Springs are, if you zoom back out, okay, it's south of Denver. This particular property, these are the GPS coordinates. Oh yeah, there was a fire out here in this area a long time ago. Probably, 4, 5, 6 years ago. It's not a bad, I almost said it's not a bad thing. A lot of people's lives were uprooted, but this is what happens in these areas. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit more just to kind of see where we're at. So there's Woodland Park. We're kind of northeast of Woodland Park. Let's look at the terrain. One of the first things we're looking for is road access. And is there road access here? I don't know how big this lot is. We don't know yet. Let's look to see what the terrain, well, let me see how many acres. It's 10 acres. So there might be road access maybe here. Don't know the lot size yet. I'll show you how to find that. Let's zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to click the 3D button. Zoom in a little bit more. And the cool thing about 3D is you can see what the terrain is like out here. And what am I looking for? Is it on the side of a mountain? Beautiful out here. Now, are these trees and bushes still here? I don't know. Depends on where the fire was or how long ago the fire was. Maybe these are just small bushes and trees that have grown since then. But what I'm looking for when I'm looking at the 3D is there a road? Are there trails? And is it on the side of a cliff? Is it in a ravine? We just don't know yet, all right? So there's another tool that I use where we can get some more information about it. So I have the APN number. Oh yeah, let me go back here though first. Let's go to regular. Now, why is that kind of like not green? I don't know. That might be the 10 acres. That's weird. Because sometimes you get, I don't understand. I've never understood this, why some of this is dark green and others are not. But let's drag the yellow dude around and see if we can get any kind of street views of things. Let's drag him over here into this area and see what the area is like. Those are aspens, aren't they? So this picture was September 21. This is what the area looks like. I think that big fire in Colorado Springs was 4, 5, 6 years ago. So this has been after the fire, I bet you. Pretty cool area, right? Do you think it's going to have any problem selling this area, selling a property in this area? No way. This is a great area. By the way, if I look at the details of this deal, so he does not have this under contract yet. Oh, you know what? He sent me the screenshot. And I will pull this up in a minute. How can I view it bigger so you can see it? Okay, so one of the screenshots she sent me was a map from MapRight. We'll look at that in a minute. But there looks like there is a trail and a road that goes through there. And we'll look at that in a minute. And what's interesting is in this screenshot, when you see it, when you go back to this property, that is the weird thing about that non-green thing. That is the parameters of the property. So sometimes, usually, like that dark green stuff is like a national park or a state forest, or sometimes if you scroll around, you can see. So this might be a private lot in the middle of some kind of forest, which would be really cool. All right. Anyway, let's go to MapRight. This property is in Teller County. I use MapRight all the time. Create a new map. Colorado. We are going to do a search right here. Go to address, parcel, owner ID, type in the county. Teller County. The APN number, I think, is that. Well, look at that. Wouldn't you know it? It is this little property in the middle of what? This is fascinating. I've never seen this before. If I click on this big lot out here, it's going to tell me on the left who the owner is. And there is no information. So this guy, Conrad Deckert, has this little lot out in the middle of what? This is crazy. I've never seen this before. And it's got to be government-owned land. This is some kind of forest. This lot, if I click on this, is owned by the United States government. If I click on that, you see, owned by the U.S. government. This lot up here is owned by the United States government, 19,200 acres. This one is 5,800 acres, owned by the U.S. government. This one here, if I click on this biggie, maybe it's owned by the state or the county or something. It might be a private owner, but it doesn't tell me. What's fascinating is you see all the private owners all around it. A ranch owns this property here, this property, this property, this property. Do you think any of these individual owners here might be interested in getting this guy's property? All right, so let's zoom in a little bit. This is 10.11 acres. Looking over at the left, I know you can't see all of this. I can't tell when it was last purchased. The big question is there access? Legal access. Well, I'm looking here. I see some dots, dotted lines. I don't know if that's a hiking trail. Yeah, it's called Lower Lovell Gulch Trail. It's a hiking trail. Interesting, huh? If there's no road access, is that a deal killer? Usually it is, but in this case, in this area, such a good area, I don't know. I don't think it's deal killer. If you could only get to it by hiking, still, I like it because it's surrounded by, national owned government land or something like that. All right, so one of the things I like to do here is I like to look at, when you're at MapRight, you can look at different base maps. They're called over here on the upper left. And there's different satellite views. I can click on Hex Aerial, whatever that means. And you can see a little better that these hiking trails. Google gives me a different view. Infrared, if that's your thing. Modern Topo. MB Satellite. NAIP, I don't know what that is. Vintage Topo. And Street View. All right. So let's go back to MB Satellite here. And I'm going to click on... now, hopefully this doesn't crash my computer. I better not do this because last time I did this with MapRight, sometimes if you're running low on resources on your computer, which I am right now, it'll crash your computer. But you can just do it in Google Maps. Let's zoom in again to this property. Let's go to Satellite View. So we know it's this kind of narrow rectangle right here. I'm going to click on 3D. Let's zoom in again. And I'm holding down the command key on my Apple computer and just kind of zoom. This looks like a great, this is definitely accessible. It's not crazy. Could you ever build a house here? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe you could. But when I sell my properties, I just sell them as is. So when I'm advertising this property, you bet I'm going to say, hey, this is a private parcel located right in the middle of government-owned land or whatever. And you can, by the way, you can see the trail right there, can't you? And if I zoom in, it looks like there's two. Yeah, it's like a dirt road. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So it does have, maybe it's off-road access. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? But that's definitely four-wheeled vehicles. Isn't technology amazing? Like, you couldn't do this 10 years ago, guys. Here I am zooming around in 3D, flying over this thing. I can see that there's some kind of road. Yeah, this is pretty cool. You're going to... oh, look at that. What is that right there? That looks like some kind of trail, doesn't it? Well, butter my buns and call me a biscuit. This looks like a great property. I love this. Beautiful. I mean, might even buy this for myself. Butter my buns and call me a biscuit. What'd you say, McCall? I don't know. I just heard that from a guy that I used to work with on a construction job. He said that all the time when he got excited. Butter my buns and call me a biscuit. All right. Okay, what next? Let's look at this deal here. I'm going to tell you the details of what was told me from Paul. Priced, the service that we use to make our offers says that it's worth about $88,000 and he should offer $22,000. General rule of thumb too, by the way, when I'm looking at property that's worth maybe more than 50 grand, instead of offering 25 cents on the dollar, I'm going to be offering more at like 35 to 40 cents on the dollar. And if it's a premium spot, I'm going to, because I know I can sell this thing fast, I'm going to be offering maybe 40 to 50%, but never more than 50%. Make sense? His goal is to just sell this for cash. So he's asking, what should I do to market this property? I don't think, Paul, you have it under contract yet. But what would I offer on this deal? All right, well, let's take a look at this. I'm going to go here to map view. I'm going to zoom out. Normally what I like to do is I like to see if there's a house around here so I can get an address so I can look it up in Zillow. But there's nothing out here. There might be an address or a house right there. Let me zoom in a little bit. Maybe that has a physical address. I'm going to right click on that. Right click. It won't do anything for me. Here we go. Right click. There we go. What's here? Sometimes it gives me an address. That's weird. It gives me an address down here. 585 Mills Ranch Road. Okay, there it is. You see that right there? It just gave me an address. Now, so what? This is why I like that. I'm going to go here to Redfin, And I'm going to just type in that address in Redfin. And what it just did there is it brought me to that property. Now I'm going to click on this map. Now I'm going to click on map nearby homes for sale. And it opens up another window with that address, that property right in the center. Now I can zoom out knowing that my property, oh, you saw it right there? Boom, there it is. So my goal is I want to get my lot that I'm looking at right in the center of this map, because now when I start looking for comps, I'm going to start zooming out. I want to see what other similar properties are selling for or have sold for in this area. So in Redfin, I'm going to say home type land. All right, so now I'm looking at just land, and that's the only filter right now that I'm going to do. You could go in and say, all right, show me at least, 5 to 20 acres. Let's just do that actually. 5 acre minimum, 20 acre maximum. Ours is 10 acres. Now there's no results. That's fine. I'm going to start zooming out until I start getting results because my property is right there in the center of that map, right? Zoom out again. I'm going to switch to regular street view here so I can just zoom out again. Still no comps. Zoom out again. Now I got 3 comps. This is very interesting here. Not very many active listings. Here's 5.5 acres for $249,000. This is right here. This is 5.1 acres for $300,000, and that's this one up here. So these are your comps. Here's another $1 million, 11.3 acres. But that's closer to the city. Sometimes the further away from the city, the better. The cheaper. Let's zoom out one more time. I'm still looking at active listings. Here we go. Now I have 14 active listing comps land. This is sorted from low to high. Now we're getting, we're kind of pretty much ignoring anything to the east of the interstate. We're looking mainly in this area. But this isn't hard. Okay, listen. This county, Teller County, is not one of the first counties that I would even go after, because if I'm in MapRight, and I talk about this a lot in my course, and in my not MapRight, LandWatch, you want to only be in the areas where there's a lot of sold activity. And guess what? If I go to Colorado, let me move my image thing over there. And let me scroll down. And if I'm on LandWatch, and if I look at all of the solds, actives, and under market, under contract, scroll down, I'm looking at the most popular counties right now. Castilla County is number 1, Park County, Huffwerno, whatever, Teller. So Teller is number 4. Okay, that's not that bad. Normally I'm sticking with the top 5 to 10 counties. So that's good. Teller County is up there. All right, good job. Good for you, Paul. But when you are not in the most popular counties, you're going to be kind of stuck like this where you don't get a lot of comps. Now, these are active comps. Let's see. I'm going to do something here where I'm going to do a maximum price of $500,000. I don't want to look at anything above 500 grand. So just eliminated all the $1 million properties. I've got 11 comps here. There's a little tool here I use sometimes if it's working, and it is today. Nice. Sometimes it's not. PebbleREI.com has this free little tool. It's a Chrome add-on that lets you go in and just click Save All, and it scrapes all of the properties that are on this page and gives you right here on the right the price per acre. So what it just did there is give me, of all those properties that are on this page right now, of the actives, you can see right here the median price per acre. Oh, you can't see it. Shoot. Sorry. Well, if you could see my screen, there's a little Chrome extension add-on called Pebble. And when you click that, it pops up this little thing, and it scrapes everything that's on that page right there. And it gives me, I'm going to write this down right now, the median price per acre of 25,668. And that's actives. Okay? I know you can't see it, but there's a little window right there. And it's the actives. Gives me the price. Median price per acre, 25,668. It also gives me the average price per acre of 32,891. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to clear all. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to switch to solds. Let's look, because this is not a lot of comps, let's do last 6 months. If I'm still not getting a lot, then I might do the last year. All right, I have a lot more. If I go back the last year, now I've got 32 comps. And I'm sorting this from low to high. And you can see here on the right, if that's too many comps, you just zoom in. Now I have 8 comps, but I want a little more. I'm going to zoom out. 32 comps. I have a 5-acre lot for 40 grand, 5-acre for 40, 5.46 for 55, 5 for 73, 10 for 75. These are sold comps. If I'm zooming in, the closest comps I've got is maybe this one for 250, 185. You got to understand, comping land is much harder than comping for houses. But at the same time, you know, why would somebody want to pay 100 grand for yours when they can buy this one over here for 40 grand? You just have to you have to know what your competition is. So I look at solds and actives. I can definitely tell you this. This is a huge plus for this property. It is not in an HOA, which means there's no restrictions, most likely. They can do pretty much whatever they want on it. There's no HOAs. Now, there's obviously county and city and state local laws that they have to obey. So I got 32 properties here. I'm going to go to that Pebble Chrome extension here again. I click, I know you can't see it, but I click Save All. And it scrapes all those properties that are on that page. I'm going to write this down. It gives me solds. The median price per acre is $22,898. So you can't see it, but it went through and it scraped everything. The median, which removes, kind of ignores the outliers, the real expensive ones, the real cheap ones. The median price per acre, $22,898. And our whole goal when we're doing this is getting in the ballpark. And sometimes, by the way, too, this is really important. I want you all to understand this. When you're doing marketing for land, sometimes it's like, yeah, we don't want to talk to the sellers until after they get our offers. But when you've got a really nice, valuable piece of property like this one is, you want to get on the phone and talk to that seller. What kind of conversation would we have with that seller? Real simple. Just ask them questions. Why should I want to buy your vacant lot? You're not trying to sell yourself on them, to them, on you. You're trying to get them to sell you on their property. Why would you want to buy their property? So I'm just asking a lot of questions. Sounds like a nice property, Mr. Landowner. Why on earth would you even want to sell it? It's beautiful. Why would you even want to sell it? See what they say. They might say, well, I don't need to sell it. I just thought maybe I'll see what I get. So what's their motivation there? Not very much. Remember, we are deal finders, not deal creators. So I'm trying to get from the seller their motivation, asking them questions. Well, what do you think it's worth? Why would you even want to sell it? You should probably just list it with an agent. Have you tried that yet? I can give you some referrals because I'm not going to be able to give you the highest and best price. If you want to sell it for the highest price possible, I'm not your guy. I can refer some realtors to you. Have you thought about just listing it with an agent? I'm pulling back, right? I'm not pushing myself on them. I'm drawing them to me. I'm playing the role of the reluctant buyer. Write that down. So this kind of a deal, I want you, Paul, to call them and talk to them before sending them an offer. This is a great deal. You know, you can send them an offer, but what if you send an offer for 40 grand and they're willing to sell it for 20? Then what are you going to do? Well, I mean, yeah. So you got to call them and talk to them. What's the least you would take, right? If I could pay cash, close quickly, what's the least you could take? Oh, that's it. Could you go any lower than that? Is that really? I don't know if I could get that for you, But if I could get you a number, we could agree and we can make the numbers work. Could you do a deal today? You're trying to get their motivation. What's more important to you, Mr. Seller? To sell it fast or to get the highest price possible? What are you going to do with the money when you get it anyway? Colorado's great. Talk about, like, build a little bit of rapport. Talk about last time you were in Colorado and how much you love it there and how beautiful it is. Or if they're in Florida, talk about how beautiful Florida is. So, like, you want to build a little rapport with the seller and try to get out from them what is the least they would take for this property. And then you send them a contract, right? And if you want to have the contract that I send, just go to simplelandcontract.com, simplelandcontract.com to get it. All right, now, what are you going to send to this guy? Well, I don't know. I'm going to call him and talk to him. Let's say he just refuses to give me a number. That's when I start asking questions like, okay, give me a ballpark, give me a range. What do you think is a fair offer for this property? What do you think is fair? Give me a range. What would make you happy? Just try to get something from them. If they still refuse, I'm going to pull up these comps. I say, well, let me just pull up some properties here in the area that have sold in the last year or so. Well, I see a 5 acre that sold for 40. So yours is 10. I see another 5 acre that sold for 40. I see a 5.5 acre that sold for 55. You wouldn't be in that range, would you? Like if you had 10 acres, you wouldn't be in the, what's $80,000 range, would you? I'm going to throw a ballpark of the lowest comps. Then I might even go here to look at the actives again. All right, I see some properties here nearby that are on the market now for like 90, 96,000. You're not anywhere in that ballpark range, right? Just trying to get a feel for where he's at. When he gives me a number, if he says, yeah, that's good, I said, do you think that's a fair price for this crazy market? Would you pay that for this property? Okay. Trying to get something from them. But he says he just refuses to give me a number. He has no idea. He just inherited the property. He's never been there. Whatever the story is, and you need to send him an offer. So what would you do? Well, I'm looking at this thinking, this is a great area. This one's for sale for $300,000. This one's for sale for $300,000. Is this the same property? It's next to a residence, so there's utilities there. There are no utilities where mine is. This one's bigger. Man, this is a hard one to comp. But it's got road access and a road already paved. This might be one of those deals too where you just don't know. You don't know and you won't know until you put it on the market, get it under contract at the lowest price that you can, and just put it out there and see if you get any interest. And if you don't, then you just go back to the seller, either cancel the agreement or renegotiate a lower price. The market will tell you what it's worth. All right, so I'm just looking at it here. I looked at actives. I look at solds. Let me do a spreadsheet on this so you can kind of see my calculation, okay? I'm just going to open a blank spreadsheet, show you how I'm kind of coming up with my numbers here. And, by the way, I have a new calculator that I'm working on that I'm pretty excited about. And I'll maybe show it to you here later on. And then show you later how to get it. But we're just looking here. We've got the actives, median price per acre when I was looking at actives on Redfin, which was 25,668. Okay. And then I had my solds median price per acre of 22,898. Which one do I use? I usually just use the lower one. So we're going to use this one. Whenever I'm looking at comps, two values, I'm going to go with the lower. That's typically how I do it. All right, so my offer range, I'm usually 25 to 35%. If it's a really premium area, I might do 40%, 50%, but I'm going to do probably 35%. So my offer is going to be 35%. And the acreage on this property is 10.11 acres. All right, so my offer is going to be equals 22,898 times 10.11 acres times 35%. Boom. 81 grand. All right, so if I offer $81,000, let's look at the numbers here. Can I make at least, on this deal, I want to make at least $15,000 wholesale profit. Let's just say, okay? So if I want to make a wholesaling fee of 15 grand minimum, will I be able to make that work? I'm probably going to need to hire a realtor. So the commissions on that, let's say, I'm just spitballing some numbers here. Let's say I sell it for 120. I'm going to pay 8% commissions, maybe 120 grand, 6% maybe. I'm going to pay about $9,600 in commissions. Let's make that 6%. I'm going to pay $7,200 in commissions, maybe. Just spitballing. Now I'm going to use a private investor to come up with the 81 grand. So I'm going to be paying about 8% interest. So equals just rough numbers again. I'm spitballing all this stuff. I'm going to pay about $6,500 in interest. Joe, are you crazy? Nope. Okay, now I've got to move my mug shot here. And I'm going to have closing costs, let's just say $1,500. Okay? So I would have to sell it for equals my what I'm buying it for plus my wholesale fee plus realtor commissions plus private investor. Now, some of you are thinking I'm crazy, but I'm just walking through the numbers here. Just bear with me. I'd have to sell it for $111,000 for me to make $15,000. Is that realistic? Could I sell this thing for 111 grand? So this is now where you go back to Redfin and you start looking at what you've got here. Let me move my mugshot. All right. Oh, well, so we're looking at active for sales. Could I sell mine for $111,000? It's 10 acres. Well, butter my buns and call me a biscuit. I think I can. Look at this. This is a 5 acre for sale for 130, 6 acres for 173, 11 acres for 200. So the closest size property to mine is for sale for 200. I think I could sell mine for 111 grand. In fact, if I offered 81 grand, I could probably sell it for, I could probably sell it for, well, let's just say I listed it for $150,000. $150,000. I'd be sitting on a really, really nice wholesale fee. So I might even offer 40%. What if I offered more? What if I got him offered about 92 grand? Could I sell it for 122? What if I wanted to make $25,000 wholesale fee? Could I sell it for 132? Yeah. Do you see where I'm going with this? So what would you offer? I probably would stay at 40%. I would offer maybe $92,000. Now, let's look at one more thing here. If we go to Priced, you can get what's called a comp report. If you are a subscriber to Priced, just go to joemccall.com/priced, PRYCD. Get a special deal. Let's see what Priced says to offer. As long as the APN number is right, you just put that APN number in there, you click Run Report. Let's see if something comes up. Not found. That's one of the problems with this. Let's go to MapRight and see if it's a different APN number. Okay, it doesn't have any periods there. So let's copy that. Let's try that in the comp report. No periods or nothing. Run report. Let's see if that works. Network error. No, now it's trying again. Let's see what happens. The cool thing about Priced and the comp reports is it gives you all of the comps they're pulling from land.com, Zillow, realtor.com, and all of them. In fact, let's look at land.com. This property is in a zip code 80863. 80863. Let's look at acres. Let's look for 5 to 15 acres. Let's look at 20 acres. 5 to 20 acres. Okay. Includes residents, no. Apply filters. View on map. We got to zoom in. Our property. So let's go to map view. Oh, see, this is, where are we here? Let's go to map. Let's zoom out. So the intersection of 24 and 67. Northwest of Colorado Springs. North of Pikes Peak. Okay. Yeah, so it's right there. Right in this area right here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's click redo search here. Sort from low to high. It's the same thing that we saw on Zillow and Redfin. We could do another filter here and say, show me any solds. Apply filters. Here's a sold for 35, sold for 39. There's a lot of solds here on land.com. I'm glad we're looking at land.com, aren't we? Here's a sold for 120. All right, let's see if the comp report pulled up. It did. Look, it gave me a download right here. Let's see what price has to say. They're suggesting I sell it for 367. Wow. I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's see how they came up with that. Here are their for sale comps. Oh, look, they're giving me the $1 million. They're including these $1 million listings right here in their for sale comps, and I exclude those. So that's going to be a problem. Sold comps. Yeah, they're looking at these $450,000, $440,000 ones. Maybe they're legit. But like looking at this one, 4.8 acres. If I go to Redfin. If I click on this map. Yeah, this is right in the city of Woodland Park. You can't include that. That's prime real estate right off of a highway. All right, so these numbers are going to be kind of warped a little bit. Let me go back here, zoom in again. But then what I do is I go down to this page right here. This is the offer price index. Based on the county offer price, city offer price, geo-adjusted offer price. Scroll down. Again, I wanted to be at 35, 40%. They have county offer, city offer, and geo-adjusted. There's different ways they do their pricing. You got 28,000, 38,000, 146,000. This is a very unique, this is a different property. Again, this is something you got to get on the phone and talk to the seller and get it under contract at the lowest price that you can, and then see what the market tells you. Once you get it under contract too, you can call a realtor, talk to some realtors, see what they say. So we said before I would offer, back to my spreadsheet. Now here's the thing. I got 3 or 4 different numbers. I said before I'd offer maybe 93. Price says to offer 28, 38, or 146. I'm going to go off of the solds. 40% of that times 10. I'm going to offer $92,599. That's what I'm going to offer. Now priced, they said it'll offer like 28, 38. Man. Here's the crazy thing. What if you don't listen to me, you offer $38,000 or $28,000 and the seller accepts it? And here I just told you to offer $93,000. Call the seller, talk to him. That's going to be my advice. If the seller will not tell you a price, this is what I would do. I would offer probably $93,000. I got 3 months to close. I would then call some realtors in the area. I would call every single one of these active listings here, or sold listings from the last year. I would call every single one of these realtors. I'd tell them what I had, Larry Knopp. And I'd also call Botwith Jody Toman. I'd say, hey, I got a property here. I don't know if it's a good deal or not. I'm an investor. If I could, what do you think I could sell this for if I was going to sell it quickly? And just see what they say. Cool? Clear as mud? What do you guys think? Type in the chat. Type in the chat. What do you guys think of what I just said there and my analysis? Would you do it different? Joe's asking, do you ever do subdivides? The answer is no. I don't think the property is landlocked, Joe. Ooh, good question here from Facebook user. What's the advantage of owning if anybody can access it? The owner would have to spend to control. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You could put a fence around the property if you wanted. Put a bunch of warning signs. Put some cameras, solar-powered cameras. What's up, Dawn? Okay, what do you guys think? You guys are kind of quiet. Looking for comments here. Bottom line, you're going to find this a lot when you're doing land deals. You're going to find a lot of your deals, you just don't know what you should offer. It's kind of up in the air. Get on the phone, talk to the sellers. Because you might offer 90, you find out he wants to sell it for 200, you're miles apart, there's no way. You could do an option strategy at that point. You could say, listen, seller, there's no way I can pay you 200 for it, but I might know somebody who would. So I can give you a 6-month option agreement that lets me go find that person. And if I find them, then I'm going to sell my option to them and they can buy it from you for 200. Would that be okay? No risk to you at all. You know, if you sell it before I exercise my option, that's fine. Let me know and I'll cancel my agreement with you. Okay. So, you know, you just got to talk to the sellers. And this one too, even before I sent this offer, I would call the seller back and say, listen, I am really struggling to try and find good comps on this. And it might even be worth, by the way, calling an agent and asking for their opinion. I would tell the seller, I'm having a really hard time comping this. You've got to give me a number or I'm probably just going to have to pass on this deal and walk. I'm probably just going to bow out. You got to give me a number. Help me out here. Okay. If they, again, then I might say, if they don't give me a number, I might say, you know, I might be able to offer you 90. Would that work or probably not? They might say, yeah. Then you put it out there and see what the market says. Facebook user says you may have to revisit your calculations to arrive at the average of your solds to compare it with priced comps. Okay, that's the crazy thing about this too. Priced is looking at those $1 million lots. Do you remember? I would ignored those. When I was looking at my comps here in Redfin, remember I went here and I did max up to 500. Now, maybe that was a dumb idea, but that's going to skew my numbers. And then when I click this little Pebble Doohickey button up here, which I know you can't see, I'm still getting median price per acre of about 28 grand. And I really don't think it's going to, I think those higher comps are irrelevant because those higher comps had utilities and there were no utilities out on this property. And there never will be either, based on where it's at. Okay. Cool. Let me know what you guys think. Type in the chat, type in the comments. Yeah, look at this. Don's got it. He's nailed it. A lot of variables in this equation. I'd call the seller and see what they had to say. Bingo. But thank you, Paul, for submitting that deal. We got one more I want to look at here. And it was submitted by Tamara. Tamara did not give me the county. Why? What are you doing? Tamara, it says right there, county and state. I'm half tempted to just pass on this and say forget it. I'm not gonna waste my time. But I'm in a good mood. I will look at it anyway. All right, let's share my screen. This is a property. I have the GPS coordinates at least. What county is this in? I don't know. Let's see if I can find out. This looks like Florida. So it's south of Fort Myers. Okay. I'm going to go in here and try to find an address of something. Let me click on satellite. There's a MH Stables. I'm going to click on that link. And there I have an address. It's Naples, Florida. All right, let's Google that. I'm just Googling Naples, Florida, and I'm going to type in the word county. It's Collier County. Tomorrow, if you're listening to this, I'm going to type in the county name for you. You said it's California, but it's Collier County, Florida. I hope I'm looking at the right deal. Huh. We'll see. I'm hoping I'm right. I'm right. I looked at those GPS coordinates you gave me, and that's Florida. That's not California. All right. Anyway, Collier County, Florida. This property, I'm going to guess it's close to wetlands. How do I know? Well, I'll tell you. Let's go to MapRight. I'm going to go to a new map. Create new map. Florida. Get started. I have the APN number. Let's see if we can find anything with that. Search by parcel ID. Collier County. I'm going to paste the APN number in here and see if anything comes up. Bingo. Yes. All right. Gary Edwards owns this thing. Zoom out. You can kind of see who else owns properties around here. And I'm usually looking to see, does the same guy own multiple properties? All right. Next thing I want to do, I want to know, okay, this is 10 acres. Let me write that down. I'm looking over here on the left. I know my screen's blocking part of it, but it was last sold in 1997. Good. The seller lives in Hollywood, Florida. All right. I'm going to click on the X here, and I'm going to go to overlays. And the first thing I'm going to do is do a FEMA floodplain. Yep. This whole southern Florida is in a FEMA floodplain, to be honest. It's just the way it is. It's not a deal killer. The whole thing is blue. Then let's go to wetlands. That's in a wetland and a floodplain. So, is that a deal killer? No. Why is it not? Because look at all the other people that own land around here. And this property, again, is at Gary Edwards. The address of the property is 34114. Let me show you something. Let's go to 34114 on Redfin. 34114. Remember we were looking, I want to get the address of something. M&H Stables. Let's actually do this. I am going to paste that address in there. Takes me to the property. I'm going to click on this little map. Map nearby homes for sale. Now it just gave me a new window with that address right in the center of the map. Right now I can zoom out. Click on options. Oops, map, satellite. So now I'm close to where that other property was. Our other property is right here in this area somewhere, right? There's Everglades Ranch. There's this road right there. There's M&H Stables. So our property is just right in the center of the map right here in this area. Okay. Now, let's look at home type, land. Sold in the last 6 months. Let's change my filters. No, there are no lot size filters. This concerns me a little bit. There are no solds here in the last 6 months. Let's zoom out a little bit more. You know what? This looks like a deal I looked at before. So if I've already looked at this deal before, my apologies. But again, I don't understand why there's houses showing up when I'm saying land. Let's do houses. Done. Now let's undo houses. Let's look at land. Done. Whatever. Let's sort from low to high. Why those houses were showing, I don't know. But now we're looking at these things here. All right. Our property was 10 acres. Let's do lot size minimum 5 acres. It goes from 142 to 12 homes, 12 properties. Okay, so this makes me nervous because there's nothing that's sold here recently in this area. Let's look at actives. All right, well, I'm going to just do the same thing we did before. Let's go sold. Since I need more, I'm going to do 6 months. I'm going to do more. I want 1 year. All right, in the last year, over 5 acres in this area, these 33 vacant lots have sold. I'm going to go to, I know you can't see it, but there's a Pebble Chrome extension here. When I click on that, it scrapes all of the properties that it found on this page. Let me move my image over here. It scraped all of these pages, these properties on this page, and I click Save All. And it brings them all down. I'm going to do I'm going to go in actually and do a max of 500 grand. So I'm not, there's a couple $1 million properties in there. So I'm going to do that scraper thing from Pebble, and I can see the median price per acre is $30,500. Those are solds. And now I'm going to switch to actives. And remember, we're still at 5+ acres. There's 18 active listings. Sold from low to high. I'm going to click on the Pebble thing. The median price per acre for actives, $36,000 an acre. All right, just rough and dirty. I've got, remember my spreadsheet here? I have for actives, a median price per acre is 36 grand. For solds, 30,500. And our property is exactly 10 acres, just like this other one. On this area, just because there's not much activity at all going on out there, I'm worried about selling property in this area, which is a wetland. Like, that's not a deal killer, but it's just there's fewer buyers that are looking for those things. I'm going to be more at like the 25% range. The most I might offer is 76 grand. Jeez, I don't know. I'm looking for some notes from Tamara about that deal, but maybe I'd offer 76,000. Going back here to Redfin, what do I think I could sell it for? If I offered 76, just looking at actives, man, I might be able to sell it for 100. I don't know. Again, this is one of those. The great thing about you guys submitting deals to me is you always give me the hard ones, because you can do the easy ones on your own. You give me the hard ones. Boy, on this one again, get on the phone, call the seller up, talk to him. Talk to him. What's the least you'd take for it? Why are there no properties that have sold south of Interstate 75? Oh, this looks like to me it's in a wetland. Is that right? Well, what does that mean? There's a bunch of houses built north of 75, nothing built south of 75. In fact, this looks like a bunch of agricultural land, or they're growing things. What's the story? In fact, this is also probably a deal in this area. I would use probably an option agreement, to be honest. I would probably use an option agreement and say, you know, this makes me a little nervous. I don't see any activity going on here. I will give you an option to buy the property for $76,000. I'll give you a 6-month option. If I can't buy it for 76, then I'll probably find somebody else who will. And that's what I can do. I wouldn't offer seller financing. Just a simple, straight up option agreement. And again, you got to get the number from the seller. What's the least they would take? Get to whatever the lowest number you can get out of them. Get it as low as you can. Go ahead and give them a contract, an option contract if you don't know, a real contract if you feel a little better about it. Get it under contract, then put it out there and see what the market will tell you. Maybe there's a huge demand for properties here. Don't know, but there's nothing being built out here. Look at these are subdivided lots. Nobody's built anything here. Why is that? Might be because it's wetland and no insurance will ever insure. But there's a bunch of things up here being made. You just don't know until you know. You get it under contract, you call some realtors, and they tell you you can't do anything down there. The city will not allow, or the county will not allow anybody to build anything. Maybe you'll find a farmer. There are some people here that have properties. I don't know if in this area, I don't know. They've got a home with a pool. Okay, cool. I am, that's what you guys can't see my screen. Dang it. Sorry. I'm just zooming around. And I was showing you, like, see these areas right here? You can see north of 75, there's a bunch of homes being built or have been built up here. But south of 75, nothing. Nobody's building anything in this area. Why? Does the county allow anything to be built? I don't know. But I was zooming in around here too, and there are some homes being built down here, like this one. If I zoom in, there's some pretty nice homes. that are here with little ponds. I don't know if these are nice homes, but this one's got a pool, some kind of work shed. You guys give me the hard deals. You can just kind of see, get under the lowest price that you can, let the market tell you what it's worth, if anything, and then go from there. All right. Got to go. What do you guys think of this? Was this helpful for you at all? I'd appreciate your comments. Let me know. I'm looking at the comments right now. How do you look at landlocked deals? I just get it under the lowest price that I can and see if anybody else would be interested in it. If priced included the $500,000 properties, wouldn't that screw all 3 suggestions to offer? Yes, it would. So listen, anytime you're using priced or a tool like that that gives you comps or an estimated value of the property, you just have to look at it then and say, all right, well, if I offer them this, what price says to offer, and I offer, if I'm going to sell it for 30 grand more, do I think I could sell it? Then you just kind of confirm what price says with what you think you could sell it for. So if price says you should offer 200 grand, so you're going to try to sell it for 250. If you go back and you see a bunch of properties listed for 100, that's not going to work, obviously, right? What is the benefit of the option agreement to the seller? Stephanie, simple. Well, first of all, when I'm talking to a seller, I'm always going to be telling them, why don't you just list it with an agent? I like easy deals, right? I don't like hard deals that I have to work really hard for. So I'm wanting the seller to say no. So the benefit to the seller is now I got it under option. I'm going to go try to find somebody who will buy it, who will buy that option so I can sell it to them so they can get it sold. Sometimes sellers just don't want to list it with an agent. That's fine. It's up to them. And if there isn't a benefit to the seller, then don't offer it. It's really, this sounds weird, but like the benefit of the option is me. Really, to me, I want to have more time to buy it. I'm not promising I'm going to buy it, but I might find somebody else who would. Thank you, Facebook user. Very helpful. Great info. Pebble looks like a nice tool. Appreciate your insights. Yeah, just go to pebblerai.com. Let's wrap it up. What do you say? Listen, if you want the contracts that I use for my land deals, just go to simplelandcontract.com. Simplelandcontract.com. And you can check that out. It's yours for free. All right, we'll see you guys later. Take care. Today is Wednesday. I was going to say have a nice weekend, but happy hump day. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.